Well, hello everyone. This is Aeronexus. Welcome to my channel. All very new actually to me. My first stream, so I hope things will be working out properly. And yes, a little bit about myself. I am actually not a professional pilot. I'm flying general aviation planes, private pilot in real life, and I'm simming for around 20 years now. So I thought I'd bring my passion for simming to YouTube and Twitch as well, and share a little bit about my experience in real world flying too. So we start off the series by going into career mode. Actually, I just recently switched to MSFS 2024 and really keen on trying out the career mode now. So this series will be mostly focusing on that. We will do other flights as well, of course, and some real world flying. But yeah, I want to experience that together with you, and we start with the private pilot license. So let's hop right into it. I hope that the sim is properly set up, actually. There might be a few glitches still once in a while.
Hello there. You must be RetroNexus number 3125, right?
That is correct.
Welcome to Augsburg. I'm Hetty, the owner of this Aero Club.
So yeah, as you see, we start in Augsburg, actually one of the airfields I'm flying in real world 2 usually as well. So I'm pretty excited to see how this will look like in the sim.
Here at the club, we provide all the training lessons you need to get started and earn your private pilot license. Then, once you've earned your PPL, you can build up your flight hours and get more experience by taking people out on first flights.
Okay.
But before any of that, let's head outside and take a flight to get familiar with our aircraft and the local surroundings.
Let's try that. So actually I'm flying a 172 and a 152 in my spare time as well on the weekends. So I'm curious to see how things will behave in MSFS 24. I tested it out briefly, mostly for setting up the peripherals. But yeah, I'm curious to see how things will work.
Welcome to the apron. This is where all our flying adventures begin. Why don't you walk around a bit while I finish the pre-flight preparations?
Okay, let's see. Rocking should be WASD.
Today we will be flying in a Cessna 172 Skyhawk. It's the main trainer airplane in our flight school. Our Cessna's got a glass cockpit and a 180 horsepower engine, climbs well, and is easy to fly. It's one sweet ride. I'm ready if you are, so hop in and buckle up. Let the good times roll.
Right, so let's see. Let's hop up in the cockpit. Oh yeah, no, view's jumping around a bit. I jumped through the plane, that's awesome. Let me go outside. There we go. Open the door. It's a bit jumpy, so there we go.
Welcome aboard. While you settle in, let's go over our flight plan. After taking off, we will climb to 3,000 feet above sea level and then fly over the airport to enjoy the view. Ready? Why don't you start the engine for us?
Well, Control E would be the auto startup. I wonder if I can do that myself. So let's try that instead. Turn on the battery. Full mixture. Let me see if the controls are working. They do. In these aircrafts, which are usually direct injection Cessna, you start it up a little bit differently than the carburetor ones. So whereas you use full mixture already on startup, you might have noticed that in a direct injection plane, you use the fuel pump initially, then put the mixture to cut off, which is kind of unintuitive initially. And as soon as the engine starts cracking up, then you put in full mixture again and add some throttle. So we try that. I can get that to work. The mixture cutoff is turned off. So let's see, fuel pump is on. 1, 2, off, cut off, turn the key. Which is a little bit jumpy, I don't know what that is. That is not working. Yeah, so I have apparently some control problems. Let me switch that off again. Check the throttle settings. That's working. Now let's try again. Battery alternator goes on. Fuel pump. Mixture cut off. Yeah, and there's already a problem. I see it constantly jumps out. Not 100% sure why that is actually. Yeah. Okay, let me check the settings briefly. Maybe something is interfering. Let's see, what do we have assigned? Yeah, I don't want that actually. Maybe that's why. Let's turn all this off. So I use spot next as my peripheral control. Yeah, let's see if that's helping. No, it's apparently not. Okay, let's quickly check in spot next. Access configuration. Let me just show you the window so you see what I'm doing. Or maybe you can't see. Calibrate the axis. Actually, I did all of that yesterday already. Save. So let's try again. Yeah, there's something really off. You see it's jumping directly back out again. So that's not helping us. Let's see if we have set throttle somewhere. And the assigned ones. Nope. Well, that shouldn't happen then. All throttle. That is not the case. Let's just go through all of the peripherals briefly. It's also not the case. Yeah, okay, well that's interesting. Of course that happens in the first stream, right? So we'll see again. Yeah, that is not what it's supposed to do. I don't see anything obvious. Let me just quickly change the setting in spot next. Standard access, throttle, engine 1. Oh, it's still not working. So we give it a try now for now. With a Control E start, I need to fix that later, I guess. Let's see if that's working.
Perfect. The wind is from 251 degrees direction with a speed of 2 knots. So we'll be taking off from runway 25. Okay, let me taxi to the runway.
Okay, so she's doing that for us. So what you can
Alright,
see...
now comes the fun part. After releasing the brakes and applying full power, we will speed up and take off once we reach 55 knots airspeed. We will be climbing at 75 knots, which is the recommended climbing speed for the Cessna Skyhawk. While climbing, we will follow a left-hand traffic pattern and make 2 turns. Don't worry if it sounds overwhelming, I am here to help. Release the parking brakes, otherwise we're not going anywhere.
Okay, let's see if that works.
Good. Ready for takeoff. Apply full power to get us moving.
Okay, let me see if I can add my camera for sim as well. You should see the controls. And yeah, let's try it. I have doubts it will work with the throttle right now, but we'll see.
You handle the yoke, and I'll take care of the pedals, steering the aircraft on the runway during takeoff. Maintain full power for takeoff, please.
Yeah, we have inverted rudders. That is quite dangerous. So let me just quickly check that setting. That's fantastic. Things are completely out of control. Why this is inverted, I have literally no idea. So let's see if it's working.
Maintain full power for takeoff, please.
Yes, that is better. So, okay. Realign with the runway. Full throttle. Airspeed alive.
We have reached 55 knots. Pull the yoke a little bit to lift off.
Quite smooth.
Perfect climbing attitude and speed. I see you know what you're doing.
Right. Okay. Let's follow the upwind.
We are approaching our first turn. As you'll see, the Cessna 172 requires very little yoke movement to turn. We are 300 feet above the ground. I will retract the flaps. You keep you can start turning left.
Oh yeah, okay. Good, let's start turning left then. Please continue climbing to 3000s.
Climbing and prepare for the next turn.
Right. 500 feet to go.
Okay, turn left again. We're almost there. Remember, we need to climb to 3,000 feet. It will keep us 500 feet above the traffic pattern.
Right. So I noticed that the displays are a bit... well, they're not sharp right now, so this might be my graphics.
There we are, 3,000 feet above sea level and 500 feet above the traffic pattern. We have safe separation with the other airplanes. Look around, see our airport? Let's fly over it.
Yeah, let's descend a little bit, reduce power to 2,350 up here. Turn towards the upward. Shift trimming works. So usually 2.5 degrees is the attitude you keep. There we go, there's the airport.
Excellent. I know that you're busy navigating and controlling the plane, but don't forget to enjoy the view.
Let's try that. It is beautiful actually, I assume it's fantastic. I'm focusing on my altitude right now. So.
Well done. I believe you have a talent for piloting. I hope you enjoyed the flight. Let's head back to the ground now.
Well, that's it, okay.
I'm glad that we flew together today. This might be the first chapter in your pilot's journey, if you want to embark on it. Let's catch up at our headquarters.
Okay, yes.
You seemed comfortable out there. I'm sure you'll get your PPL in no time.
Control problem still.
There's a laptop in the office that shows all the certification information you'll need for your PPL exam. Take a look.
Okay. Good. Let's do that. Certifications.
Here you can see all the different certifications you can pass throughout your career. Your first step is to work towards your private pilot license.
Yeah, that's what we're here for. Okay. Private pilot license allows you to fly a single-engine airplane in good weather conditions and perform takeoffs and landings from land. Private pilots cannot fly aircraft for commercial purposes. That is correct. So I'm still wondering what to do with my throttle now at this point of time. I think that might be a bit of a problem during the flight. But I think that's something I have to figure out later. So yeah, let's continue.
All the training lessons you'll need to pass the PPL exam are available here. Make sure you're comfortable with these before taking the exam.
Right, okay. Next. Okay, where do I start? These are the lessons as far as I see. Planes available after the exam. I haven't configured all of them, so usually I focus on the Cessnas, but it would be nice, of course, to fly some others on stream as well. So yeah, let's take the first lesson, the sim controls, I guess. See the briefing. Time to learn the basics. Before getting to know more about aircraft controls, we will go over basic camera and tuba interactions, which are essential tools to master in Flight Simulator. You will learn open interact with the tuba menu, interact with the camera panel, use the cursor to highlight and interact, create, save and access custom camera views. Well, seems very basic. Let's do it. I think we will find more bugs during the course of the stream, which I have to figure out how to solve them. But let's see. If you have any questions, by the way, let me know. Send me a message or post a comment in the stream or in the chat, and I'm happy to answer as I can. A bit of longer loading time. Give it a second. It's taking longer than I expected. I spent a lot of time yesterday actually setting up the aircraft, or potential aircraft, but it seems that was not enough. I also plan to use my iPad and overlay it, so you can see either the real-world navigation tool I'm using, which is ForeFlight, or Navigraph in case, depending what we need. There we go. Start.
Welcome to Sedona. I'm Captain Jess Molina, and I'll be your instructor. For this lesson, we're going to start on the ground and focus on some basic concepts. Fundamentals every pilot needs to know before hitting the skies. This is your plane, a classic, the Cessna 172. Take a look around it. In the simulator, anytime you want, you can easily switch to cursor mode. The cursor is handy for interacting with menus and cockpit controls or instruments. As you can see, activating the cursor also displays the toolbar at the top of the screen. The toolbar is a quick access menu that allows you to control various aspects of the simulation. Try to find and open the controls panel.
The controls panel. Is it that one? Nope. Here.
The controls panel is a useful reminder of the button layout for the devices you're currently using. Now try to find and open the camera panel in the toolbar.
It's not too hard.
The camera panel allows you to access the various views and camera modes of the simulation. Go ahead and close all the panels for now. Right now, we are in the external view mode. Let's switch to cockpit view next.
I think I haven't set up that, so I do it in here with the camera settings, cockpit.
In front of you is the yoke, the primary means of controlling the aircraft. In the simulation, you will be controlling the aircraft with your peripherals of choice. So, let's hide the yoke for now. Alright, as we've seen, when you want to look around you, it's easy to rotate the camera. But you can also move it freely in the cockpit to get a better view of anything you want to see. Even through a window to look outside.
So what I just noticed, I think the reason the throttle was jumpy before is not that the configuration was not correct. It's that we have the flight instructor next to us interfering with our controls. I think these are the flying support functions that MSFS has. Because as you see now, the throttle is moving perfectly fine. So this might have been sorted out itself already. Yeah, I'm not quite sure if I can use these right now. So let's just quickly check the settings. What we need to do, translate cockpit view. And decrease, increase height. So we can quickly set that up. Very basically, settings, controls, translate. Cockpit view, there it is. On the keyboard, left, right, forward, backward, and increase, what was it? Cockpit view height. We use the E key. And decrease cockpit view height, we use the C key. Go back, save. That helps. Yes.
Now, reset the camera to its original position.
Yeah, okay, great. That is also something I haven't done yet. So reset cockpit view. It's fun finding all these things while doing the mission. Reset cockpit view. Let's use the R key. Reset.
All right, that covers all the main camera functions available in the simulation. Try to familiarize yourself with them a bit more, then reset the camera to its original position whenever you're done.
Okay. Yes, reset.
Great.
Good. That it's yeah, 100%. Great. I just noticed the image seems a bit dark to me. So I'm using shaders, as you see, with Reshade. I installed them yesterday, which are usually pretty great, but I wonder if we can brighten up the image a little bit. Yeah, here we should have brightness. It's up pretty high already, but maybe add a little bit more to it. Let me know if it's too dark or not, if it's fine on stream. So let's go to the... Oh, it's scoring details. Let's see. Oh yeah, okay. That's what we went through. Let's go to the next training. Aircraft essentials. Yoke, rudder, and throttle. Let's start. Takes a moment. Loading in these missions. There we go. Start the mission.
Let's get you familiar with the aircraft, a Cessna 172, and a few commands to navigate it through the skies. In front of you is the yoke. The yoke is like a steering wheel, more or less. Turn it left or right to control the ailerons and bank the aircraft into turns. Look at the trailing edge of the wings while turning the yoke to see the effect on the ailerons.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Oh, didn't see a lot.
Now,
here.
the difference between the yoke and a steering wheel is you can pull or push on the yoke. This controls the elevator at the back of the aircraft to make it climb or descend. Look at the horizontal stabilizer while you pull on the yoke. You can see how it affects the elevator.
Look at the horizontal tail at the back of the aircraft. Well, we can set these as well, I guess. Cockpit, look down, look up, left and right. Settings, controls. Cockpit, look. Cockpit, look down, up. So let's use I for up, look down, okay, left and right. Go back. Yeah, okay, so we can turn around. We should see the elevator axis moving in video.
Nice. Down at your feet are the rudder pedals. They steer the aircraft when you're on the ground. The upper part of the pedals also control your brakes. In the air, they control the rudder at the end of the vertical stabilizer to yaw the aircraft. This is mostly for small corrections, for coordinating turns or compensating for a plane's tendency to pull left during takeoffs and climbs. Look at the vertical tail while operating the pedals to see the effect on the rudder.
Look at the vertical tail. Okay, so we turn around. Oops, not that one. The other one. And we should be able to see the rudder.
Great.
Right.
Last but not least, the throttle is located near the center of the cockpit. Pushing forward will increase power. Pulling back will decrease power.
Right.
First, look at the throttle and select it.
Look at the throttle and press. Yeah. Do I have to do that? Cockpit interaction. Primary action. Lockable.
Keep it selected and push it forward to increase power.
There we go. It doesn't recognize that. That is really nice. Cockpit interaction, Y-axis. Well, it's not so great. Let's see. That's because Sputnext is controlling my peripherals. Cockpit interaction, Y-axis. The problem that I see when I try doing that it will interfere with each other. Let's see. Cockpit interaction. Primary action was that, I guess. Lockable. Actually, I don't know. Let's try the O key. Do we need that? Oh, sorry. Cockpit interaction. Y-axis lockable. Settings. Controls. Cockpit interaction. Remove that. Y-axis lockable. I think we should put that on the Bravo. And see if that works. Add the new profile. Go back. Nope. So we're a bit stuck now. Push throttle.
Power is increased. Now pull it back to decrease power.
Yeah. Turn it
Power is decreased. Now we'll do the same without focusing on it. Deselect the throttle. Look away from the throttle and increase power. Set your throttle to idle. Excellent.
Right.
When the engine is on, you'll be able to see the power change on your RPM indicator. You will find it on your PFD screen in the top left corner.
What does it say? Discover the instrument panel. Look at the RPM. The RPM, yeah, I do that. Well, it's actually interesting. Why is it not responding? Is there a second one? Usually it's on the right side, given that only one display is active. It's stuck here again. I don't see an alternative one. Is that working? I'm looking at it.
This tells you how fast the engine is spinning in hundreds of revolutions per minute. Next, take a look at your current speed on the airspeed indicator. It's on the left on your PFD screen.
Yes, I'm looking at it. I'm not 100% sure what it wants me to do here. Look at the airspeed indicator.
It measures the speed in knots. To check your altitude, look to the altimeter. It's on the right on your PFD screen.
Right, looking at it.
Not all aircraft have integrated screens with all this information. A lot of them rely on analog instruments. You can find the analog versions of the airspeed indicator and the altimeter just above the throttle. They're respectively on the left and right.
Right.
The analog altimeter has 3 hands similar to a clock. The long, thick pointer indicates 100-foot intervals. The short, thick one is 1,000-foot intervals. And the long, thin one counts 10,000-foot intervals. That's all for today. Next time, we'll see how it feels in the air.
Oh, curious too. Training complete. Let's see our results. Well, was not too hard, I guess. Let's go directly to the next. Attitude and pitch. Yeah, as you saw, like I had to fix up still a few of the settings. I mean, this will not be necessary in the future, so bear with me on this one. But I tried to capture a lot of these for the next stream beforehand as much as I can. I'm going live through this program, so I never tried these missions directly yet. So see the attitude and pitch. You will learn the basics of attitude management. Attitude refers to the aircraft's nose position relative to the horizon, be it through pitch or roll. In the image to the right, the lines represent the horizon's position when ascending or descending. Let's give it a try. Right. The loading times in between are a bit longer than even starting up the sim. Let's give it another second. I was initially expecting the lesson start at the airport. You select the starting airport.
To help demonstrate pitch, I've drawn 3 lines on the windshield.
Yep.
Notice how the middle line matches the horizon while we're flying level? This is the cruise attitude. The lower dotted line is the climb attitude, and the upper one is the descent attitude. Let's dig deeper into what that means. Pull back gently on the yoke until the climb attitude line matches the horizon. Then maintain that attitude. According to your altimeter, we're gaining altitude. But we're losing airspeed, proving you can't avoid basic physics while making a climb. Excellent. That's good. Keep working on it. You'll get better. Now, let's level back out. Our speed is increasing and our altitude is stable. All right. That's good. That's okay. Push gently on the yoke until the descent attitude line matches the horizon. Then maintain that attitude. As expected, with a nose-down attitude, our altitude is decreasing while our speed is picking up. Great. That's good.
Pull the throttle.
Keep working on it. You'll get better. Okay, bring us back to level flight. Now your speed is decreasing and your altitude is stable.
Kind of.
That's good. That's okay. That was excellent. Being able to maintain a precise and stable attitude is key to performing all types of maneuvers.
Yep, she's not wrong. So, even though the MOZA yoke provides a lot more control, I feel like, than the yokes I used before, it's still a bit of a challenge sometimes. I think I need to fine-tune the settings there. It's a bit too bouncy compared to the real plane. Well, that's okay. 81, 82, 93, 76. That's an A. We take that. Okay, the turns or the roll. The lesson will focus on learning to turn with your aircraft. To perform a turn, you will have to move the yoke in the direction of your choice while maintaining a centered slip skid indicator. This is done by performing small rudder corrections. As for climb and descent, maintaining an attitude will help you retain altitude and airspeed. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out the best settings for the yoke. It's all pretty manual to be set up with the profiles. So I'm not exactly 100% happy with it yet. What I can try is using a profile I set up before. sure if the yoke is active. That's why it felt so strange. Okay, let me start.
Don't sink.
Yeah, great.
For this lesson, we're going to use a line drawn on the
That's
windshield
hilarious.
to indicate the cruise attitude. I've also added another dotted line to help you bank properly for left turns. Gently move the yoke to the left until the dotted line matches up with the horizon. Then maintain that bank.
Okay, yeah, we start a bit low above the ground. That's okay. It's steep.
Keep working on it. You'll get better.
Now for my
Watch your
taste-
altitude. It wasn't constant during the turn.
Yeah,
Now, let's sea level back out.
I'm busy not crashing into the mountains right now. Seems
That's
wrong.
good. Remember to maintain altitude while leveling off.
Yeah. Fortunate.
For the next step, turning to the right, let's see how you do on your own without any markings. You can see a series of notches representing 10-degree increments on the attitude indicator part of your PFD. As a general rule, you always want to keep your turns under 30 degrees. Start banking right until you're lined up with the second notch to the right on the attitude indicator. Then, maintain that 20-degree bank while remaining at the same altitude until I ask you to stop.
Okay, 20 degrees. Yeah, the displays are not clear. We need to fix that as well, I guess.
Keep working on it. You'll get better.
That was not that bad.
Keep working to maintain a constant altitude during the turn.
Oh,
Level us
fuck.
back out now. Great. Additional practice will help, don't worry.
Yeah, true.
Small corrections on the yoke will lead to more accurate turns.
You might have to redo that, I guess. I think that was not so great. We'll see the rating. That was strange that I was spawning in the mountain. Let's see. No, let's do that again. Let's try if we can do that better. Yeah, sometimes I think these things can happen, so doesn't matter. We try it again. Actually, the real plane flies a little bit differently. It doesn't, well, let's say it's almost more.
For this lesson, we're going to use a line drawn on the windshield to indicate the cruise attitude. I've also added another dotted line to help you bank properly for left turns.
5,500.
Gently move the yoke to the left until the dotted line matches up with the horizon. Then maintain that bank.
Oh, let's try that again. It's around 20 degrees, she wants.
Excellent. Now, let's sea level back out.
Too much.
All right. For the next step, turning to the right, let's see how you do on your own without any markings. You can see a series of notches representing 10-degree increments on the attitude indicator part of your PFD. As a general rule, you always want to keep your turns under 30 degrees.
Right.
Start banking right until you're lined up with the second notch to the right on the attitude indicator. Then, maintain that 20-degree bank while remaining at the same altitude until I ask you to stop.
Good, let's turn right. 10, 20 degrees. It's really hard when the
Nice.
it gets blurry.
Level us back out now. That's good. Remember to maintain altitude while leveling off.
Lost 50 feet.
Wow, great job.
Oh, better than before for sure. Let's see if that's enough. I guess so. Should be better. Yeah, we take that. So, yeah, the leveling back out was, I guess, not quick enough. I wonder, you don't get really any more details than that, right? Scoring details. Yeah, the 50 feet I think she didn't like. So, let's try the next one, power setting. In this tutorial, you will learn about the relationship between RPM and throttle management. To do so, you will have to maintain a consistent cruise altitude, reduce, increase RPM. Yeah, let's try it out. I was surprised that she didn't ask to pull out the throttle while descending. Usually you wouldn't do that. Full throttle and then go in a descent because you stress the engine, so you pull out a little bit of power before you descend usually. Usually around 2000 RPM, the Cessna. That doesn't look right. Oh. Let's see. That can't be right. Yeah.
Let's talk about the throttle. If you have the need for speed, then the throttle's for you. Full control over the power output of the engine.
Let's see if we can
In the Cessna 172, that relates directly to the RPM displayed on the tachometer on the PFD. Pull back on the throttle to reduce RPM to 1800.
Good. Let's see what it is up. 1800.
Look how your speed and altitude are also decreasing.
Yeah, you have to pull more.
500.
Excellent. Okay, let's throttle back up to 2,400 RPM.
Oh, that's a much.
500.
Your speed is increasing now. As long as you maintain the same attitude, your altitude will keep climbing as well.
Yeah, I want definitely some distance.
That's good. That was excellent. With piston planes like this Cessna, it's common to have power targets defined in RPM.
Well, that was a short one, so we'll see how we did. The spawning into the ground is a bit frightening, actually. This might force us to redo potential missions, I guess. We'll see. Yeah, barely oval. An A, that's okay. Let me just check. I mean, there is a risk, actually, that this will crash my sim, but the displays are really hard to look at. Let's just quickly check in the menu if I switch to TAA settings. Maybe the DLSS is not the great idea. Right now, TAA. DirectX 12 frame generation. Save and back. Let's try that. second. Back to the career mode. So there's a risk that the sim might crash in a moment. It's always difficult.
You seemed comfortable out there. I'm sure you'll get your PPL in no time.
Yeah, okay. Next.
There's a laptop in the office that
we know. So let's go back. Certification.
Here you can see all the different your first step.
Yeah, we did that.
All the training lessons you'll need to pass the PPL exam.
So we passed all of these. I can see that's fine. Okay, let's go to the one we were on. Here. Okay, maneuver test. Let's review what you have learned in your previous lessons. This first test is an important step on your way to completing your PPL. Okay. Let me just check my sound settings. It seems that I'm not loud enough on the microphone, as it seems. 1 second. Yeah, we try that if I add a bit more power to it. So let's reload this session. Okay, let's see. I'm just adjusting my voice settings at the same time. Yeah. Hello, Harvester. Nice to have you on the stream. Yeah, so the sound settings are better now, you say. You can hear me louder on the microphone. I can turn up a little bit the amp, but I'm worried that I'm too loud right now. Okay, let's continue. So it's our first test. Guess she will ask us to do a few climbs and turns, or use our power settings. We'll see. Start. And as I said, I'm expecting a sim crash any moment, switching to TAA, but I hope that the displays are better readable now. Yeah, you're right, Harvester. We need to see what happens when the game starts come back on. This might be a bit too loud, I guess. Let me know what you think, how you can hear me. Otherwise, I can turn on the sim a bit before I start. What do you think? How is it compared to the simulator at the moment? Yes, okay, good. Game down a little bit. I hear it very loud on my headphones actually. Turn that down as well. Okay, let's give it a try. Let's start.
The art of maneuvering a plane through the air isn't a mystery to you anymore.
Yeah,
now it's time to test
the
skills you've learned. As you can see, we're cruising at 6,000 feet
Almost.
on a north heading of 360 degrees.
Let's readjust that.
Start by descending to 5,500 feet while maintaining a northerly heading.
Descend to 5,500. Okay, let's pull back the power a bit. Maintain northerly heading.
While descending, reduce throttle to avoid overspeed.
Yes. Well, she didn't teach that before, actually. So it's at 2000 RPM. So what you see, what I do is I put the yellow markers on the white horizon line. That gives you usually the right descent attitude, around 2.5, 3 degrees, which equals around 500 knots at this airspeed. Okay. Harvester is saying this is better, it's good. I still need to fine-tune the sound mix, I guess. I'm glad it's working.
While descending, reduce throttle to avoid overspeed.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay, we're not climbing, we
Now,
want to maintain
climb
it.
to 6,000 feet and turn to a south heading. On the Cessna 172, you need full power to climb effectively.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's climb 6,000 feet. Meanwhile, turn to a south heading. She didn't say which direction, so I'll just take left turns. What you also usually do is, that is in IFR, you keep a rate 1 turn, which is in this plane at this speed, usually around 17 degrees of turn. Not really 20, it's a bit too much. Oh. So, yeah, okay. Thank you, Harvester, regarding the sound notice. We are about on par sound with the girl. I think that's good. 6,000, I already overshot. Didn't focus. Let's keep that and southerly heading. 10 degrees before you roll out and then fine tune.
Nice.
Yeah, kind of.
All right, next exercise. Maintain your heading of 180 degrees, stay at 6,000 feet, and adjust your airspeed to 80 knots.
Set speed to 80 knots by holding increased throttle. Yeah, okay, so reduce that. While we are reducing the throttle, I will need to adjust my attitude as well. So I'm pulling on the yoke.
Go ahead and reduce your speed.
Yeah. Starting now. Why I'm pulling? Because I need to maintain altitude at the same time. With less speed, you need to pull more to increase the angle of attack of the wing compared to the wind. Actually, we're losing a bit too much altitude.
All right.
Yeah, but
That was
too low.
excellent.
More throttle. Oh, that's it. Okay. Well, it was our first test. Maneuver test training. I think we completed that now. Later on, I think it's not working. Let me see if I can get the chat into view as well. But I noticed yesterday this is still causing problems, so I don't expect it to work. But let's see if I... let me just write something in the chat myself, but I think this is not going to work. Yeah, no, not yet. So I will fix that hopefully tomorrow, so it's a bit easier to follow along on chat. And we go to the next mission. Pre-flight. Ah, yeah, also very important. Actually, that's something you do in the real aircraft all the time. You should never skip that. A lot of accidents in private general aviation happens because of not being accurate on pre-flight checking the plane. A lot of things can be missed, so it is a really important topic. And in 2024, you can do now walk-arounds, so that's great. I hope in the future that the aircraft developers will simulate issues with the plane inside or outside as well. That makes it a bit more realistic. There we go.
Hello. Today, we're going to go over all the steps that precede turning on your engine. Those steps are essential to ensure your aircraft's integrity and that everything is in order for a smooth and seamless flight. First of all, stretch your legs a bit and take a look at your aircraft and your surroundings. We never took much time to look at our aircraft from the outside, so take your time if you want to inspect it.
Great. By the way, Harvester, thanks for the subscription. Actually, I didn't see a notification even. Also something I think I will need to fix, given that I spent way too much time in the last few weeks trying to set this up. So let's do that. Move around.
You might have noticed some extra bits on your aircraft. These are the covers and chocks. Covers are installed when the plane is not in use and are meant to avoid damaging its sensitive parts. Chocks are there to immobilize the aircraft. You'll need to remove them before takeoff.
Remove the engine covers. 1 second. That's a different thing she just talked about. Static ports here on the side. Remove the chocks. No, that's not working. Why is that? Is there no click spot? Oh, get seasick moving around the plane. I'm somehow always managed to float through the plane instead. There we go. Remove the pitot tube cover, which is up here.
And we're done for the outside. Now that we're sure your aircraft is functional and ready to taxi, let's check the inside.
This is not great. Yeah.
Let's get to the matter at hand. You've been given an EFB, also referred to as an electronic flight bag. It's a tablet that stores critical flight information and is the ideal tool to prepare your flight plans and enhance your piloting experience. Open it and take a look. Feel free to follow a quick guided tour of its features.
Yeah, good question. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay. Can I move towards it? Yes. So, flight plan app, you can plan your next flight. Yes, the aircraft app. Actually, I will not use the EFB a lot. I use or preset everything beforehand, and then I use my iPad with all the tools I need. Usually for flight that I use in real world flying as well, which I can connect to the sim. So it's more convenient. So I try to actually not use this EFB except for smaller changes. Yeah, pilot logbook, around 3 hours flight time. The settings, more apps. What does open the EFB with toggle EFB? Which is also a key I think I need to set still. Let's do that quickly. Toggle EFB. There it is. And we set that on the keyboard. Tab key. Go back. Hope this satisfies the requirement.
The EFB features an interactive map, a flight plan editor, aircraft and current flight information, a nav log as well as fuel and payload options. The EFB has plenty to offer, but if you want to get directly into the action, you can turn it off after you finish the quick tour.
Let's see the settings quickly. Tablet size a little bit bigger, okay. Default, we don't want to change anything. Kilograms, liters, centi. Grade is okay. Yeah, that's fine. Let's close it.
It seems like we're all clear on the checklist. Now start this pretty bird up.
Okay. Start the engine by completing the checklist. Actually, I have my real-world checklist, so let's try this all again. The one I'm using in the actual 172. Let me walk you through briefly, and we try if we can start cold and dark this plane. As said, the direct injection planes are being started a little bit differently. As said, it's compared to a Cessna 152, where you pull in the mixture full, you turn the key and add a little bit of throttle and the engine starts. In a direct injection, you use the aux fuel pump. And the awkward thing is that you don't use the mixture a lot. So you just pull in the mixture or push in the mixture initially, use the fuel pump for a few seconds, and then you push, and that's really important, pull out the mixture to full cutoff. Then you start the engine, and the moment you feel in the real plane that the engine starts, you slowly push, or rather quickly push in the mixture again. And even in the 172 I'm flying, depending on winter, it's a bit harder. Sometimes you need 2 or 3 times. Last time that happened, when I flew that plane specifically, I killed the battery after, because I think after the 3rd attempt it still didn't work. Problem were the spark plugs that were fouled, but it caused the engine to not start, and I on top drained the battery, and I was basically then standing close to the fuel station and couldn't taxi away anymore. So that was that for flying on that day. But we'll see. Let's try this out. So we first actually follow the checklist. Starting engine checklist. Brakes are set. Throttle 0.6 centimeters. Mixture idle cutoff. Aux fuel pump. Let's turn on first of all battery and alternator. Aux fuel pump on. 1, 2. With fuel off, cut off, and start the engine. Yep, that didn't really work. Let's try that again.
Now that we've covered all the preparations, let's get to the good stuff, shall we?
Oh, that was already it. Yeah, you saw the first time it didn't really work. Sometimes you need to try a second time, but you need a good battery for that. And 3 times 100% for starting an engine. That's not too bad. Okay, let's go to the next mission. What do we have? Taxiing this time. That's actually one of the things you do in the real world aviation training very early on. Before you do all the other things, you do a familiarization flight, of course. But what you start with, of course, is taxiing later on. That is the first 1 or 2 lessons. They let you taxi around on the airfield quite a bit. Okay. Start the training. Let's see where she's taxiing us along. Let's give it a second again. There we go. Let's start.
Let's take a moment to talk about taxiing. Taxiing refers to moving the aircraft on the ground under its own power. In particular, getting from the ramp out to the hold short point on the edge of the runway. Steering on the ground is managed through the rudder pedals. That's right, unlike driving a car, we turn by using our feet.
Correct.
Okay, ready? With the throttle idle, release your parking brake.
Throttle is idle. Let's look down there. Usually deactivate the yoke. It's a bit easier for me to follow then. Release parking brake. I've set it up. Here.
Okay. Now, gently increase throttle to get the aircraft moving.
Add a bit of throttle. There we go.
Go easy on your throttle. Use your rudder pedal to turn left and enter the taxiway.
Usually don't need a lot of
throttle to gain forward momentum, and then reduce RPM accordingly to match a fast walking speed while taxiing.
That's exactly what I just wanted to say. Usually you almost taxi idle, and that's also a bit awkward, stopping in a turn. Let's give a bit more throttle again. There we go, and go center line.
Now, test the brakes.
Let's test the brakes. Brakes are working.
Good. Brakes checked. Taxi to the next exit, then come to a stop. Remember to control your speed with throttle and brakes. See the crossing in front of us. Stop before it,
no.
as if traffic was coming off the runway.
Well, it's a lot of blue chevrons in front of me to see anything. A bit fast actually, so I'll reduce the throttle. It's a lot of ground friction here, I feel like. The actual plane, you can very easily control that. It's a bit strange because you don't really feel it here. There we go, there's the holding point. So throttle idle and brake in front of it. Well, apparently not that short before. Let's go a bit further. Not quite sure. There we go.
All right, taxi to holding point Alpha 1 next. It's at the far end of the airport, near the head of runway 21. Stay as close as possible to the taxiway center, marked by the yellow line, and watch your speed.
Right, so let's try that again. A bit more in the center. The TAA definitely fixed it so the displays are readable again, so I hope I can stay on that without any sim crashes. Reduce the speed a bit. A little bit above 1000 RPM are usually okay. Faster walking speed, you said, so I think that's about right. Nope, bit more maybe. We have an inclined taxiway. Well, that's a very bumpy taxiway actually. Pull the yoke. Reduce a bit the power. Coming up to the holding point.
After the right turn, come to a stop before the hold short point, in prep for takeoff.
Yeah, okay, so we slow down a little bit before we do the turn. A bit of power in the turn, and then aligning the aircraft with the holding point. There we go.
You've mastered that lesson.
Right. Well,
the next challenge will be to keep the aircraft under control while at full throttle for takeoff.
Okay. Yeah, the ground friction feels a bit strange. This might be my controls right now or the sim, but I think, yeah, okay, we're doing fine. So we take that and go to the next lesson. Let's coming up. Takeoff. The fun part. There's nothing like the thrill of taking off, of taking flight. Taking off requires a pilot's full attention. All the key steps for this maneuver will be covered in this tutorial. This is dedicated to get you off the ground and into the skies. So we'll see. Yeah, that's what you practice tons and tons with traffic patterns initially in flight training. I think I easily did 100, 150 of my course just on the airfield I'm flying from near Munich. But that's part of the training, right? So we'll see. Usually it's not too hard. The Cessna 172 is very easy to take off, get off the ground. Let's start.
There's an old saying I like. A mile of road will take you a mile. A mile of runway will take you anywhere. Taking off isn't hard, but there are a few key points to remember. First, we always take off into the wind, which won't be an issue on a calm day like today. Second, before we enter a runway, we always make sure it's clear. Check to the right to see if a vehicle is on the runway. And to the left to make sure no other planes are approaching.
Okay. Can I do that with my controls here? Yes. Sounds about right.
Runway numbers are not arbitrary. Each number matches the first two number of the runway's compass bearing, rounded to the nearest 10 degrees. For example, a runway orientated towards the north would be numbered 36, which is 360 degrees on a compass. Everything looks good, no cross traffic. Go ahead and taxi into position. Now slowly taxi onto the runway and align the plane with the center line. Then stop your plane just after the number 21.
Okay. Let's do that. Okay, so align ourselves with the runway. Oh, we're a bit fast. Move past 21. No, not really aligned. Stop here.
Excellent. All right, let's do this. Apply full power, and I'll walk you through the takeoff as we go.
Yeah, well, usually you should explain it before. It's a bit easy to understand, but let's try it. Full power.
Use your rudder to stay on the center line, and keep pushing power until you reach 55 knots.
My rudder is very twitchy still, so that's to be adjusted. We push still forward, now we release.
Good. Now, gently pull back on the yoke.
Yeah, oh wow, that's not good. Pulling.
And we're airborne.
Yeah, that was an awkward takeoff.
Line up the top of your instrument panel so it's a couple of inches above the horizon. That'll pitch us up and set a good climb altitude. Maintain 75 knots and we'll reach our target altitude of 5,500 feet in no time.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on flying straight. Use your rudders to remove the left yaw our plane has when climbing. You can see your current yaw input by looking at the MFD slip skid indicator.
So 210 degrees. There we go. $5,500, so we're close to that.
Maintain 75 knots and climb to 5,500 feet.
There we go.
Okay, 5,500 feet. You've reached your target altitude. That was a nice takeoff.
Not too happy with it. It was awkwardly bumpy on the runway. We almost fell on our propeller. Is that enough? Yes, okay. My goal for the series is to not go below an A rating, so far it's okay. Let's try the next one. Yoke management. In this landing tutorial, you will focus on using the yoke. There will be no need to actuate your throttle or flaps on this one. To perform a proper landing, the aircraft speed and rate of descent are reduced to allow for a gentle touchdown. Yeah, I'm curious to see how that goes with my current hardware settings. Let's see if we spawn in a mountain again. There we go.
For this landing exercise, I want you to focus on the yoke only.
Yeah.
We're close enough to the runway to land safely without adding any throttle. Maintain a speed of around 65 knots. Pitch down if you're going too slow. Pitch up if you're too fast. Keep your airspeed at 65 knots. When you're 10 feet above the runway, it's time to flare. To flare means to raise the nose of the aircraft to slow your descent for a softer landing, but without ever leveling off or climbing. The main landing gear will touch down before the nose wheel does.
Yeah, the airport doesn't seem to have loaded in. Oh, we'll see. And we're a bit steep. Usually we would not fly that steep without flaps. We're too high. And not fast enough, so we need a bit more speed.
500.
Yes, 500.
We're coming up on flare height. Resist the temptation to pull back. Now, focus on the end of the runway and pull back slightly on the yoke to aim the nose just above it.
That is a horrible landing. Go way too steep into the runway. No, now, it was not nice.
Apply the brakes progressively to slow us down and bring the plane to a stop. Use rudder pedals to stay on the center line.
That's how you scare off a flight student, I would say, after the first landing lesson.
That was excellent.
Really? Well, I think I would have changed pants after that if that's my first landing. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that was awkward. Usually that's way too steep. You would have either used flaps or more flaps or started the descent a bit earlier. I mean, you can do it, but that's not a normal landing. There we go. Throttle management. Second landing tutorial will allow you to focus on throttle management. Throttle adjustments will allow you to manage the aircraft's glide path on the final approach without having to rely on the elevator. Even if you're focusing on the throttle, do not hesitate to make small corrections with the yoke and stay aligned. I guess we learned things now about aiming points as well at one point of time, that you focus at the early stage of landing at the beginning of the runway and then turn your gaze towards the end, the closer you come. But we'll see. There we go. Oh yeah, already in descent mode. Whoop. There we go.
In the first part of this landing exercise, I want you to stay on the glide path by using the throttle. You can make small corrections with the yoke to stay aligned with the runway. Smooth action on the throttle is key for remaining on the correct glide path.
I use flaps now, I don't care.
If you find yourself too high, reduce your power. If you're too low, increase it. Remember though, always make soft corrections. You don't want to overcompensate.
Right.
Now
Okay,
you
so...
can use the elevator to land.
Still a bit steep and a bit slow, so 65 is our VREF. I set actually on purpose more flaps than she configured. Add some throttle in. Yeah, see now it's a bit better, a bit more throttle. Because I think we're going full flaps now. A bit low. And the landing is short, so...
Reduce throttle to idle. Now,
pull.
Focus on the end of the runway and pull back slightly on the yoke to aim the nose just
a
above
bit hard. That's okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, apply the brakes to slow us down and bring the plane to a stop. That was excellent.
Yeah, okay. Really awkward to fly there, but it might be also the airfield. I think it's Sedona. It's strange that it doesn't show up properly. It should have been installed. Bring the aircraft to a stop is apparently the worst part I had, which is surprising. I don't know what exactly went wrong. Stop the plane on the runway using brakes. I mean, we did that, but it's okay. Let's take the next one. Let's see, the landing. What goes up must come down. In this training session, you will focus on the key techniques for a successful landing. Manage speed and glide path on the final approach. Flare the aircraft to touchdown smoothly. Brake after landing. So what we see, final approach, flare and deceleration in flight at the endpoint, and then slowly pulling back the yoke to allow for kind of a smooth landing. So we'll see how that goes. We will do many, many more landings, I guess, in the flight school here. I hopefully will fine-tune my gear by then. Right. There we go.
My first instructor used to say, the best part of flying is landing in one piece.
Kind of.
Today, you're in charge of bringing us in for a safe landing. And I've already set us up in landing configuration at 65 knots with 20 degrees of flaps.
Good. Still a bit
Keep your
high.
aim point on the runway threshold. When you're 10 feet above the runway, it's time to flare.
Yeah, that's not how you do it in real life. You don't think about 10 feet. It's more the peripheral vision that's important. You look at the end of the runway. And one of the tricks in real life is you look at the very end of the runway until you see the big white markers on the ground that they're disappearing. That's the moment when you flare. Because then that's the better angle in terms of the runway. So let me switch on the camera again. So you see the instruments, we are a bit high still. I hope I can fix the airport soon. My rudder's a bit too twitchy to use it. So let's align with the center lines. 65 is what we want, use a bit of trim. No throttle yet, we keep it on idle. But we might need throttle in a bit, like now. So we add a little bit. The stall speed is quite generous on a 172. I mean, in flap configuration, full flaps, you can go down almost to 45 knots. So 60, below 60, nothing happens. But usually, say, approach speed is 65. Plus half the gusts on top of it. But I think we try to keep it at least on 65, a bit low right now, but it's okay. We don't look at the puppies, we look at the runway.
500.
Bit more power. Stable approach. Slowly pull out power until we completely pull it off above the runway when the landing is secured. Like now.
Reduce throttle to idle.
That
Now,
was actually
focus on the end of the runway and
not
pull
good.
back slightly on the yoke to aim the nose just above it.
This was an outside landing. We landed
Nice.
actually before the
Now,
runway
apply the brakes
started.
progressively to slow us down and bring the plane to a stop.
And
Use
likely,
rudder pedals to stay on the center line.
right, crashed into the fence as well. So that
You
was
did
crap.
well, but you can do better.
Yes, I think so too. I think we do this again.
Keep in mind that approaching the runway at the right speed is key to a good landing.
You can do better, yeah. Not crashing into a fence is a start, I guess. Let's see. Yeah, we try that again. That was not optimal. So, should be starting any second. There we go.
My first instructor used to say, the
Let's
best
try
part of
again.
flying is landing in one piece. Today, you're in charge of bringing us in for a safe landing. And I've already set us up in landing configuration at 65 knots with 20 degrees of flaps. Keep your aim point on the runway threshold. When you're 10 feet above the runway, it's time to flare.
Hmm. So, aiming point, aligning with the runway. Almost looks there's no runway, but I think the air part is missing for some reason. Yeah, 67 is okay on speed. Before we need more, I keep a bit more right now. Oh, she wants us 65. Okay, we'll do that. So far so good. A bit more speed. We are getting a bit too slow. Let's add a little bit of power. The reason why I do that, not going completely idle, is that the propeller basically becomes a solid disc in front of the plane and hinders the airflow, so you feel that you're sinking pretty quickly, so you keep a little bit of power, actually a bit more, which was too low.
500.
Yeah, maintain 65. There we go, pulling out the power a bit. There, it looks better now, a bit more stable than before.
Reduce throttle to idle.
Right, now reduce to idle,
Now, focus
pull.
on the end of the runway and pull back slightly on the yoke to aim the nose just above it.
Not perfect, but it was better
Nice.
than before.
Now, apply the brakes progressively to slow us down and bring the plane to a stop. Use rudder pedals to stay on the center line.
So, right.
You did well, but you can do better.
Camera is dropping, I see here. So.
Keep in mind that approaching the runway at the right speed is key to a good landing.
Well, that was okay, but we'll see what she thinks. We were definitely more stable than before. That's not great at all. It's still stopping the aircraft, so I don't know what's the problem with our braking performance. But we try that again, I guess. So, another attempt. Let's see if we can get a better braking action on the third attempt. Starts.
My first instructor used to say, the best part of flying is landing in one piece.
We're at the third time now.
Today, you're in charge of bringing us in for a safe landing. And I've already set us up in landing configuration at 65 knots with 20 degrees of flaps.
Yeah.
Keep your aim point on the runway threshold. When you're 10 feet above the runway, it's time to flare.
Okay, so trying that again. Keeping center line. It's really hard to use my pedals actually. The tiniest movement we jerk around. 65. Bit off center line. Little bit more speed. We don't want to change the angle necessarily, that's why we use the throttle. Going back on center line. Maintaining 65. Looks better now. Keep the throttle in. A bit too low.
500.
Don't look at the poppy lights at this time. Purely visual.
Reduce throttle to idle. Now, focus on the end of the runway and pull back slightly on the yoke to aim the nose just above it.
So, full braking action this time. Hopefully that counts.
Nice. Now, apply the brakes progressively to slow us down and bring the plane to a stop.
Yes.
Use rudder pedals to stay on the center line. That was excellent.
That's was better than before, but we use still quite a lot of, well, it's not 100% center. Quite a lot of throttle at the end, right, to maintain our approach speed. Yeah, finally, that's better. Well, we got a pretty good stopping of the aircraft performance now. Flaring is actually right, could have been a bit better, so. Okay. Downwind training. This training session covers the procedures to be performed while flying in a left-hand traffic pattern from the downwind leg to final approach. Traffic patterns, also called circuits, are paths to be followed on takeoff and landing, allowing air traffic to move in and out of airports safely. Let me switch off the cam actually. Each part of the pattern is referred to as a leg. Okay. Let's start the training. I guess we start mid-flight this time again. Spawning in some mountain area. Oh, that's a nice scenery. Beautiful. And oh wow, okay, let's stabilize that.
We're currently flying on the downwind leg at the standard traffic pattern altitude of 6,000 feet. It's a flight path parallel to the landing runway, but in the opposite direction. In downwind, you want to start preparing for landing. That means setting your speed and flaps configuration. We're passing the end of the runway, so go ahead and reduce RPM to 1700. It will help you to slow you down to 80 knots and begin your descent. The flaps provide extra lift at the expense of additional drag. This extra lift allows flying at a lower airspeed. Flaps allow for smoother and shorter landings. Go ahead and extend 10 degrees of flaps, all while maintaining current speed.
10 degrees.
We will turn to the base leg when the end of the runway is at a 45-degree angle behind us.
I need a bit more speed, we're too slow. Maintain 80 knots. Let's add some power.
Turn left onto the base leg.
Good, let's turn left. Getting back some speed. Bit steep actually, don't want to go that steep into the turn.
Try to keep our speed around 75 knots.
Well, what you got?
Keep an eye on the runway as we get ready for our final turn.
Where's the runway? Do we see it? Not yet.
Turn left onto final.
Ah, there it is, directly in front of our nose. Too far. Oh yeah, now I messed up that approach.
Keep a stabilized approach with 65 knots airspeed and prepare for landing.
Yeah, let's go full flaps. Let's see if we can recover that.
Use throttle and flaps as required to adjust the glide slope.
The rudders are killing me right now. It's way too jerky to use. Yeah, we messed up that approach quite nicely, so let's see if we can at least save it. A bit too high, that's okay.
500.
Maintain 65. We need more flare at the end with full flaps. Add a bit of power. Try to keep center line, reduce power idle, and flare.
Apply the brakes and stop the plane.
Uncontrollable with the rudders. We'll see. Also, braking action is pretty bad here right now. I think I need to adjust that.
You followed the traffic pattern well. Good job.
Yeah. I didn't have visual reference to the runway early enough, so we turned in too far actually. Yeah, that was not a good landing. As expected, the left base was not good in the final approach, so we try that again, I would say. Let's reload the flight. There we go. Start. Maintain the altitude.
Okay, we're currently flying on the downwind leg at the standard traffic pattern altitude of 6,000 feet. It's a flight path parallel to the landing runway, but in the opposite direction. In downwind, you want to start preparing for landing. That means setting your speed and flaps configuration. We're passing the end of the runway, so go ahead and reduce RPM to 1700. It will help you to slow you down to 80 knots and begin your descent. The flaps provide extra lift at the expense of additional drag. This extra lift allows flying at a lower airspeed. Flaps allow for smoother and shorter landings. Go ahead and extend 10 degrees of flaps, all while maintaining current speed.
10 degrees set.
We will turn to the base leg when the end of the runway is at a 45-degree angle behind us.
Maintain the speed and altitude. I can't really read the objectives. I have. Okay.
Turn left onto the base leg.
100 feet too low. No power. And way too steep of a turn. That's correct for that.
Try to keep our speed around 75 knots.
Mm-hmm. There's the runway.
Keep an eye on the runway as we get ready for our final turn.
So, reduce the speed.
Turn left onto final.
Let's see if we
Make
can
your
align
left turn onto
ourselves.
final.
Yes, we're doing that. There we go.
Make your left turn onto final.
I'm already doing that, so a bit too late without the
Keep a
visual
stabilized
reference.
approach with 65 knots airspeed and prepare for landing.
Yeah,
Use throttle and flaps as required to adjust the glide slope.
that is way too high and too fast, so usually we go around at this point of time. I think we try that again.
500.
We need to flare a bit longer, bleed off the speed. I went full flaps now. So, flare and brake
Apply the brakes and stop the plane.
and jerk around on the runway apparently again, so we'll see. Yeah, I lost my visual reference and then came into steep. We recovered it, but we'll see.
You followed the traffic pattern well. Good job.
I think this is where a Trek AR headset definitely makes sense to follow a bit more the visual references. Yeah, I think let's try it one more time. This will be the last lecture we're flying for today. Maybe we can save that and get a A rating this time. Oh yeah, I see how is there also landing early, not really hitting the markers. I think that you can score more. Yeah, you're right. My approach on top was not stable, given that I lost the visual reference. Came out way too steep at the end. So we're trying that again.
Okay, we're currently flying on the downwind leg at the standard traffic pattern altitude of 6,000 feet. It's a flight path parallel to the landing runway, but in the opposite direction. In downwind, you want to start preparing for landing. That means setting your speed and flaps configuration. We are passing the end of the runway, so go ahead and reduce RPM to 1700. It will help you to slow you down to 80 knots and begin your descent. The flaps provide extra lift at the expense of additional drag. This extra lift allows flying at a lower airspeed. Flaps allow for smoother and shorter landings. Go ahead and extend 10 degrees of flaps, all while maintaining current speed.
Right.
We will turn to the base leg when the end of the runway is at a 45-degree angle behind us.
So let's see. There's the runway.
Turn left onto the base leg.
Bit more speed. There we go.
Try to keep our speed around 75 knots. Keep an eye on the runway as we get ready for our final turn.
There we go.
Turn left onto final.
So letting the airspeed rise a little bit, 75.
Make your left turn onto final.
Yeah, I'm doing that right now. So, here we go, a bit too far again. Reduce throttle.
Keep a stabilized approach with 65 knots airspeed and prepare for landing.
One more notch of flaps.
Use throttle and flaps as required to adjust the glide slope.
We are too fast. Full flaps. It's a bit annoying that this approach seems to be something I can't get straight. Add some throttle. Stabilized. Reduce throttle. Pull back.
Apply the brakes and stop the plane.
I can't use my my rudders at all. It's like wait a second. So it's also not really braking for some reason. We'll see.
That was a perfect traffic pattern execution. Well done.
No, not really. Well, at least this time it was enough, barely enough for an A rating. So we take that today. And finish here with the downwind lesson. So let's go back to the certification just to see what we continue with next time. There we go. We did all of that, so... Oh, actually, you know what? We do the first solo flight as well. And then keep the final exam for stream. I will do very likely tomorrow, so let's do that. Then we finish a nice stage. Yeah, you trained for this, now it's time to show off your skills, channel all your aviation know-how, and complete a standard traffic pattern without any assistance from your instructor. Stay relaxed, operate your aircraft safely, and enjoy your flight. So we'll see. Yeah, obviously, it's a setting with the rudders, I think, in Spot Next or any other. It's highly sensitive, super sensitive. Basically, barely touch them, you jerk around. So I think I need to fix that for the next stream. Okay, good. Let's get started.
It's time. Your first solo flight. I'll be watching from the ground, in radio contact if you need me, but something tells me you won't. Your goal is to complete Sedona's left-hand traffic pattern on your own. Remember everything we covered in our previous sessions, and you'll be just fine. Good luck. See you on the other side.
Yeah, you're right, Harvester. I need some slope on the rudders. The problem with spot next is it's not the most convenient way actually doing it here. I can just quickly check rudder axis configuration, the response curve. Yeah, I can set one. Let me just quickly try that. Like a kind of an S curve rather. There we go. We see if that's a little bit better at least, and I will try to fix that for the next stream. Okay, there we go. Okay, really hard to read the instructions. Just says take off. Okay, then we do that. Take off. Full power. Release brakes. No, it's a tiny bit better. Harvester actually, right? Can adjust that later. Airspeed is alive. Rotate 60 knots, pull back on the yoke. It's a very interesting runway to take off from. A little bit less. So we have our 75 climb speed. Wants us to reach 5,300 and the upwind leg. Yeah, you're right, Harvester, it needs adjusting per aircraft, so I hope to be able to set everything up in a better way. 5,300, right? Okay, so 50 feet to go. Use a little bit the throttle. Gain speed. Turn left to begin crosswind leg. Maintain 75. Too steep, high. There we go. Oh, we're a bit too fast. Oh yeah, actually I'm too low, right? 5,700, so I think that was not a good start already in the traffic pattern. So let's climb up a bit.
You need to stay in the pattern for the sake of this exercise.
I thought so. Oh, let's do that again. That was not a good start. Restart the flight. Got distracted maintaining my altitude and didn't follow the traffic pattern correctly, so we'll see. Yep, there we go, start.
It's time. Your first solo flight. I'll be watching from the ground, in radio contact if you need me, but something tells me you won't. Your goal is to complete Sedona's left-hand traffic pattern on your own. Remember everything we covered in our previous sessions, and you'll be just fine. Good luck. See you on the other side.
Okay, maybe we can read it better now. Full throttle. Airspeed alive. Release the yoke a little bit. 60 knots. Pull back. 5,300. 75, so we push down a bit. 50 feet to go, so level out. Maintain 75. Turn left. It's a bit steep. So I'm not quite sure why I should reach 5,700 now. But we'll do that. End of downward leg. It's a bit unusual to do this in 2 steps. Usually go on your traffic pattern altitude in one go. It's a bit too high. Let's correct that. Reach 6,000 even further, okay? Let's do that. It's very unusual. Right, 6,000, maintain 80 knots, so let's speed up a bit. Usually you will get these instructions beforehand, right? Before you go flying, not during the flight. Makes it a bit easier to anticipate what you're doing. Well, that's okay. Maintaining 80 at 6,000. So, turning left for base leg. 80 knots. Not too steep, 30 degrees is a bit much, maybe. Reach the end of the base leg. Maintain 75 knots. Where is the final approach? I can't see it right now. There we are. So, flaps. .65 knots, flaps 20 set. Be a bit high. Can go full flaps in this case. Keeping your nose down, descending. With a little bit of power.
500.
Just with the center line. Keep the nose down. Reduce the throttle. And flare the plane. And brake. The brakes are very ineffective, as it seems like. Okay.
great job. You're on your way to becoming one hell of a pilot.
Oh, I don't know about that. Hope we made it. I don't want to do this now again. Yeah, perfect. Okay. The base lag was not good. That's interesting. I think that's the turning into it, maybe? I don't know. Perfect takeoff. I still think that was not that perfect, actually. I think, but it's mostly set the settings I need to adjust to make it a bit smoother. But I'm glad we managed that. So let's go back to the certification. And see, so I think we have all of these completed today. Oh yeah, okay, so yeah, in the next stream we will take the exam, I would say, get the credits. So we get access to all these planes. I will focus mostly on the 172 because that's the plane I'm flying usually. But I'm also curious, of course, to try out others like the Robin, which is a bit more lighter aircraft, French aircraft. The Diamond would also be nice. It's not the DV20, more modern version, of course, of an aircraft. And the more lighter weight ones, we see them in my airfield. I fly from Echo Delta Mike Lima in Landshut. We have a few Diamonds and sometimes a VL3 as well. So definitely curious to try out these planes as well. And as you see, we need to certify ourselves on all these types, right? So, which is in real life the same, right? Where you, you fly 3-4 hours with a flight instructor to get certified on the plane. There's no written test or anything. It's a few hours of flying. So that is great. I think we don't need... Yeah, though we need the certifications for all of them. So that's okay. Yeah, I'd say we stop here for today. We have a lot of different type ratings we can do over the time. I'm looking forward to do all of them. That will be part of our live streams I will be doing in the next few weeks. And work our way through the career mode. So that's it for today. I think I'm online tomorrow again. So we do take our exam. Thanks for watching today, my first stream. And yeah, let me know in the comments if you see anything that should be changed still or adjusted, specifically on audio or voice adjustments or video adjustments. So fine-tuning together with you, let me know. And hopefully seeing you soon next time. And see you soon again. Take care, bye.
Hallo. Hello. Yes. Nope. All right.